What's up, fellow Hoops fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Last Shot NBA show here on Little Birdie TV. And as always, we are brought to you by our good friends at topsport.com.au. Now, usually on a Wednesday morning, as you guys know, we have a special international guest or a guest, locally as well. But unfortunately, our guest has been hit hard by COVID this week. So under the NBA's hardship provision, we've been able to bring back old mate Benyam Kidane from NBA Australia. BK, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, my man. I got the 10-day. Let's go.
Yeah, you got the 10-day. Well, it was either you or we're going to just grab some random bloke off the street. So we figured we'd go with the proven product. BK, let's get straight into it, mate. A lot to talk about, as always, in the NBA world. We're going to quickly touch on Josh Giddey because we've spoken a lot about Josh, since the season started and how well he's been, but he finally got that triple-double, BK, didn't he? He was on that verge of getting it. He had quite a few double-double games, but he finally got the triple-double, youngest player in NBA history to get a triple-double, BK. And this morning as well, we had some great news to wake up to. He's been named Western Conference Rookie of the Month, his second consecutive nod for that.
The Rookie of the Year campaign is starting to get some juice. He's getting the awards. He's breaking records. A heck of a couple of weeks there for Josh Giddey. But this record, I was thinking about this the other day. That's going to be a tough one to break because he is so young, 19 years, 84 days. You don't see many guys that age contributing at that level. So it could be one that he hangs on to for a while, unless of course the high schools eventually do get to come into the NBA in a few years' time. But this one's going to be his for a little bit, I think.
And obviously, the last guy to hold that particular title was LaMelo Ball, who got a triple-double last year, the youngest guy before Josh Giddey. That's two guys from the NBL Rising Stars program. So shout out to the NBL for producing great talent. BK, one quick question on Giddey I want to ask you. Can he be the best Australian player in the NBA within the next couple of years?
I mean, yeah, the potential's definitely there. I mean, he's definitely put himself in that position. I mean, he's only played like 32 games, and he's already doing things like this. So, I mean, the trajectory for his development, especially playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, where he is allowed to play through mistakes, he is sort of given that long leash to kind of figure out his game. I think his development is going to be pretty quick. So it wouldn't surprise me if we wake up in a couple of years' time and he's the new leader of the Boomers. He's the Aussie guy, because we're seeing guys like Joe Ingles and Patty Mills kind of hit the back end of their careers, and this is very much Giddey's time.
Yeah, it is Giddey's time. I'm with you. Look, and I'm a huge Ben Simmons fan as well, no matter what anyone else may think of him, right now, given his current situation. But I look at Giddey and honestly, I just see no limit to his potential and what he can contribute to an NBA team. So shout out to him. We're going to definitely keep an eye on him throughout the season, as always, and keep bringing you updates as to what he's doing. BK, another team that's on fire right now, the Chicago Bulls. They've won 8 in a row. They sit atop the Eastern Conference by themselves. They're clear of the Brooklyn Nets, clear of the Milwaukee Bucks. BK, are they the new favorites in the Eastern Conference?
Man, the Bulls are rolling right now. 8 in a row. And shout out to Zach LaVine. This guy never won more than 4 games in a row in his NBA career. Now he's flying high with an 8-game win streak. And him and DeMar have been getting buckets during this streak. I think they're both averaging north of 27 points per game. And, obviously their main guys have been good, but they've had a lot of guys out during this streak as well due to health and safety protocols, Lonzo and Alex Caruso. So 2 key guys, probably 2 of their top 6 guys in and out of the rotation during this streak. Just kind of makes it all a little bit more impressive.
Yeah, they've done well to maintain, haven't they? Not only maintain, but to thrive. Like you said, they've had key guys out. Shout out to Zach LaVine. It's amazing when you actually play with good teammates, what can happen, right? He's been on some bad teams over the course of his career, so good for him that he's actually experiencing a little bit of success. BK, Memphis Grizzlies. You and I are both high on the Memphis Grizzlies. We've spoken about them. I said from the start of the season, I love what they're building over there in Memphis. I think Ja Morant and Jackson Jr. are a couple of great pieces to build around, but they've been on fire. They've won 5 in a row, beat the Nets yesterday, 118-104 in Brooklyn, mind you. 3.5 games behind Utah now, but they're 4.5 games ahead of Denver, who is in the 5th seed. So they've kind of solidified that 4th seeding for themselves for the moment. BK, was yesterday a statement win by the Memphis Grizzlies? Because I look at it, and to beat a team of that caliber on their home floor in that fashion, I thought that was a statement by the Memphis Grizzlies. And Ja Morant, Jesus Christ. Can this young man jump or what?
He has to have the highest rating for make you jump out of your chair moments, because that dunk was just disrespectful, going coast to coast. And the Barclays Center was going crazy for that. But I do really like this Grizzlies team. You mentioned Jackson Jr., who's looking a lot more like the player everyone kind of expected when he was selected 4th in 2018. But Desmond Bane has been, equally, if not more important to the Grizzlies. They've just got such a nice mix of youth and, a couple of nice veterans in Kyle Anderson. Steven Adams is holding it down in the middle. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the league because of that. So, I mean, I don't even look at them as a young team on the rise. Like, I think this is a team that could really cause some trouble for you in the postseason. They got a taste of it last year against the Utah Jazz in the first round. So I'm not going to be surprised if the Grizzlies do make a run, because they have a very easy schedule the rest of the way. I think they've got the 5th easiest remaining schedule. So the Warriors, Suns, and Jazz got to be looking over the shoulders.
I love that you mentioned Steven Adams because, like you said, Desmond Bane's been born, but I think Steven Adams has been a really key acquisition for them. Obviously, he's a guy that's played on some playoff teams as well. He's got some veteran experience, but he does all the things that don't necessarily show up on a stat sheet. I mean, obviously, and some things that do, obviously, the rebounding and things of that nature, but he brings a toughness to him. He's a really good rim protector, a great rebounder, and I saw him, in all the games that I've seen the Grizzlies play. He's just a great screen and roll guy. Plays the pick and roll well with the perimeter players on the Grizzlies. I think he's actually been one of their best acquisitions.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of fit, obviously Valanciunas had a great few seasons in Memphis, but you can see what Steven Adams is doing out on the floor for Ja Morant are all the things he used to do for Russell Westbrook. So it really is the perfect complement to having that kind of high octane point guard in Ja Morant. So the roster composition here, it's something that could stick around for a few years' time, because you have some guys on their rookie deals, and obviously guys like Adams and Anderson in great spots there as the established veterans on the team. So I'm all aboard the Grizzlies this season.
Yeah, me too. And you need, they're a young team, we know this, but you need some veteran guys on that. You need that sort of perfect mix. Now, we've already established, BK, that we both think that the Grizzlies are legit this season. So my next question to you is, how far can they go in the playoffs?
Well, they're definitely making out of the first round. And then from there, who knows? You got a guy like Ja Morant, who's going to be an all-star this year, is just forcing his way into a potential MVP conversation. So I'm going to say second round minimum. I'm not quite ready to put them in the conference finals yet, but who knows? It wouldn't surprise me if they cause a boil over.
Yeah, look, Phoenix and Golden State for me, they're clearly the best 2 teams in the Western Conference, right? So the Grizzlies are probably that tier below them right now, but you never know. They get through the first round, you get a favorable matchup in the second round. Maybe the other team's got some injuries, COVID, who knows? If things open up, they could definitely make a run to the conference finals. Definitely one to keep an eye on, but they're so fun to watch. BK, another guy that's killing it so far this season, Joel Embiid. His monster performances are continuing. He had a 31-point triple-double against Houston yesterday. 15 rebounds, 10 assists to go along with that. 7-game stretch. He's averaging like 33 and 11. He's just been absolutely ridiculous in the games that he's played, since he's come back. They've won 4 straight, the Sixers. Embiid single-handedly keeping this squad in the mix in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's a different ball game when Embiid's on the floor, and we saw just how much the Sixers struggled when he was out. Since he's been back, he has been at an MVP level, and it's something we've spoken about before is the passing. 10 assists from the center position we only really see Jokic doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something he's developed over the years. He wasn't always the best passer or even a willing passer, but getting the ball out of double teams, hitting shooters, and guys are knocking down shots off those passes. So the Sixers are keeping their head above water, and I mean, it's amazing to think they're still doing this without Ben Simmons, but that's just a testament to how good Joel Embiid has been, because Tobias Harris hasn't necessarily been setting the world on fire. Matisse Thybulle's been in and out of the lineup. Seth Curry has been great for the Sixers. I'll give them that, and Maxey has definitely papered over the.
That's your guy.
That's my guy. He's, but he's papered over some, the gap at point guard. But with everything built around Embiid, geez, they make it tough because he's a special talent.
Are we, again, this is something we've spoken about. Are we kind of underestimating Joel Embiid's ability to sort of carry this team? Look, granted, this is a small sample size, 7-8 game stretch, and he's been, playing phenomenally because we thought he's going to come back from COVID. He was doing it all. He still is doing it all. And we were like, okay, so he's going to run out of gas at some point. Again, small sample size, but it doesn't look like he's running out of gas.
No, I mean, this is one of the best stretches of his career. And that always is the concern, is how much of the load can he carry through an 82-game season. We're not even at the halfway mark. So it is kind of hard to tell. But what's different about this version of the Sixers is everything runs through Embiid. So he's the focal point of the team on both ends of the floor. And you can see that sort of level of engagement goes up when, it is, the buck kind of stops with him. He's kind of, met that challenge, at an exceptional level. So I'm all aboard seeing how far Joel can take this team. But, it does sort of in the back of your head sit, what if they did make a trade to just get him some help if they resolve the Ben Simmons situation? Because the Sixers, they have a lot of talent. They can be a problem in the postseason, but I don't know if that's going to be the case with just Joel doing his thing.
I'm getting a lot of like Allen Iverson squad energy here, where it's like Allen Iverson is the one guy. You look, they've got some talented pieces around him, but Allen Iverson's like the one guy that if it wasn't for him, this squad would be in a lot of trouble. And if it wasn't for Joel Embiid, they would be in a lot of trouble.
Big facts.
A squad that is in trouble right now, for the way that I look at things, is the LA Clippers. BK 4-6 in their last 10. They lost to the Timberwolves yesterday. 19-19 on the season. They're sitting in 7th in the Western Conference. Obviously, no Paul George for a few more weeks. No Kawhi Leonard. BK, do they have enough to hold on until those two come back, or are they in danger of even slipping out of the play-in spots?
You know what? On paper, no. But there's something about this ragtag group that they've got that they just compete. I mean, we saw what they did in Brooklyn, and then also against the Celtics as well. Like Morris and Reggie Jack. I don't know how it's working, but they somehow just stay in games and have guys that can win games. Can they keep doing it? I'm not too sure. Just because Paul George is still, a few weeks away. The issue for me is that they're 1-6 against the top teams in the Western Conference. Their only win came against the Suns, and that was without Booker and Ayton. So when it comes down to it, when they have to actually play good teams, it could be a problem. But if Paul George is back by March and they're sitting just above 500, I don't know. I still think they have something there, but obviously the Kawhi Leonard cloud is the big one. Is he going to come back at some point this season? Is he going to come back at all? I mean, that's the real game changer for them is what's happening with Kawhi Leonard, because we still don't really know.
Yeah, well, that's excuse me. That's a lot of the San Antonio Spurs. It's reminiscent of his, I think it was his last season with the Spurs. Will he come back? What's he going to do? Is he coming back? There's a big cloud hanging around Kawhi Leonard. I don't think they have enough to hold on. I don't think they're going to be hovering around 500 by the time PG comes back. I just think that's too many games without him. Over the next 4, they've got the Suns, Grizzlies, Hawks, and the Denver Nuggets. So
they could lose all those games.
They could lose all those games. So
they probably should.
Like you said, on paper, they should lose those games. So I think we might have a better understanding of, where they're at once they get through that little stretch. BK, let's go through with our game predictions. As always, we've got 5 games on the NBA slate today. We're going to start off with the Spurs and the Raptors. The Raptors are $1.36 favorites. Spurs, $3.35. Line there is at 6. Totals at 224. Live on NBA League Pass. BK, Spurs are sliding. They've lost 3 in a row. They're down to 11th in the Western Conference. The Raptors pretty much healthy for the most part for as long as I can remember this season. They've won a couple in a row. They're playing at home, BK. I know you never pick the Raptors, or you rarely pick against the Raptors at home. And for me, I'm going to have to side with you on this one, assuming that's what you go with as well, because I don't see the Spurs beating the Raptors at home.
Yeah, you know what it is. I'm rocking with the Raptors here. They had 10 players in health and safety protocols at one point last month. So the fact that they've actually got their team back out there, this is still a handy team on their home court. I'm going Toronto.
Yeah, and obviously no fans allowed in Scotiabank Arena, so they're going to be playing in front of an empty stadium, but I still see them winning at home. Next game on the schedule, we have the Grizzlies and the Cavaliers. This should be a fun one, BK. Cavaliers $1.67 there. The Grizzlies $2.29. The line is at 2.5. Totals at 215.5. Live on NBA League Pass. Grizzlies won big yesterday, so they're playing the second night of a back-to-back, BK. Darius Garland has cleared protocols for the Cavaliers, so he should be playing. He was questionable as of last night, but he should be playing. After everything we've said about the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't care if they're playing away and on the second night of a back-to-back, they're beating the Cavaliers tonight. And I think it'll be easy too, actually.
Hey, okay, let's go. I mean, the Cavs at home is a tough matchup, but I'm with you. Let's keep the Grizz train rolling. Let's go 6 in a row.
6 in a row for the Grizz. There we go. All right, next game. New York Knicks. Here we go. New York Knicks, $1.66 favorites here. Indiana Pacers, $2.32. Line is at 3 there. The total is at 207. Live on ESPN today. BK, no Kemba Walker for the Knicks. He's out with a knee. I saw this morning that Julius Randle is cleared protocols, but he's questionable for today. Mitchell Robinson is out of protocols, but I think he's also questionable for today. No Karis LeVert for Indiana. He's in protocols. The Pacers have lost 4 in a row. The Knicks have lost 2 in a row. Is there anything to be excited about this game, BK, or are we just
is this just a coin flip game?
Yeah, this is just a coin flip game. Look, this one's at MSG. I said I wouldn't do this, BK, but I'm going to go with the Knicks. I just can't. Look, I can't pick the Pacers, man. I can't. I'm going with the Knicks in a close one at home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Knicks purely just because the Pacers are a mess at the moment. Yeah. And, I mean, that's saying something because you could probably say that about the Knicks as well. But let's go with the home team on this one. I'll rock with your Knicks. Let's give you some moral support here.
All right, here we go. We've agreed on all 3 picks today, BK. Let's keep this thing going as well. Next game up on the schedule, we've got the Suns and the Pelicans. Suns $1.35. Pelicans $3.40, lines at 7, totals at 224.5. Live on NBA League Pass. BK, like I said, this one here, the money's correct here. The Suns favourites for a reason. They're going to win. They won big against Charlotte actually the other day. And I said there's no way Phoenix is going to beat Charlotte by 31 again. And what do you know? They went and beat them by 30-something points.
I was confident in the Hornets too. I tuned in at halftime. They were already down by 30. Oh, man, come on.
Yeah. That one was a big write-off. Pelicans have lost 2 in a row. But this one, Suns easily.
Yeah, take that to the bank.
Yeah. Next game up on the schedule, last one on the schedule, we've got the Sacramento Kings and the LA Lakers. This used to be a good rivalry, but now they both suck. Lakers $1.42, Sacramento Kings $3, lines at 6.5, totals at 230.5. They're live on NBA League Pass. BK, Lakers have been up and down as usual. LeBron's been beasting. But he is probable for this game with an abdominal strain. Westbrook's turning the ball over. One positive for the Lakers, I believe Kendrick Nunn is close to making his Lakers debut. I don't know if it's going to be today against the Sacramento Kings, but he's close to making his debut. He's been out with a bone bruise since preseason. On paper, the Lakers should still have enough to win this, but they've just been so up and down this season. But you know what? I'm going with the money here, and I'm going with the Lakers.
If the Lakers don't beat the Kings, it might be time to wrap it up here. Let's Even without LeBron, they probably still have enough to beat the Kings. But you never know with this Lakers team. But that still doesn't give me enough confidence to pick the Kings.
You couldn't have said it even better, BK. Like I said, on paper they should still have enough to win this, but geez, they're the Lakers, so who knows? We'll see. But we've agreed on all our picks today, so hey. If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
I'm coming with you, brother.
All right, BK, we'll let you get back to it. You're going to be back on Friday morning as usual. We'll be back. We'll have a whole lot more to talk about. This has been the Last Shot NBA show here on Little Birdie TV, brought to you by our good friends at topsport.com.au, and we'll see you guys on Friday morning.